Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Silent Dreams, Hidden Strength. Episode 5. Chapter 52. I had a beautiful dream. Ryland's lap is always the best place to fall asleep. The security it gives me is unmatched. I know while I am sleeping, I don't have to worry about anything else. The carefree atmosphere and the happiness of finally being with the love of my life brought a smile to my face. In the dream, I could see the bright future that was ahead of me. The way Ryland and I would will after getting married. Our kids, as babies, and as grown-ups. Of course there will be more than one of them. The dream was the best I've had in my entire life up until this moment. It not only gave me immense happiness but also a sense of belonging. That future is mine. I have survived those days where I wanted to die and now I am living my best life. The dream lasted forever. In the short span of few hours that I slept, I dreamt of my entire life ahead. Ryland's love never changed in those days. And my love for him only grew. Our kids were the best kids in the world. They were loved by everyone, especially their grandparents who always pampered them and spoiled them. They received everything that I did not get while growing up. The regrets that I grew up with, they will never see. For them, the world will always be a bright place where only good things happen. Ryland was the perfect father to them. I tried my best to be a good mother. And maybe, in the dream I was successful too. I smiled in my sleep, feeling the warmth of Ryland's body against mine. I could feel his hand stroking my hair gently and a kiss dropped on my cheek. The dream turned sweeter after that. In that dream I wondered just long could we go on for. How long was forever? Ryland had promised her that he will love her forever and that they will be together until then. But how long was that? I don't know. But somehow the dream felt endless. The love that we shared kept flowing like an endless stream with no end and no origin. Mom! A small voice woke me from my sleep. It was morning and I was sleeping in my bed. The space next to me was empty and cold. I frowned. Weren't we in the car? When did we reach home? I wanted to call out for Ryland but another voice called out before me. Mom! Open the door! I looked towards the door of our bedroom and got off the bed. Only then I realized that I was wearing silk pajamas. On the way to the door I glanced at my appearance in the mirror and was surprised at what I saw. The last time I saw myself in the mirror, I definitely wasn't this old. The face in the mirror was aged. If I had to guess, something in the late 30s. I frowned and opened the door. In front of the door was a restless girl. She looked very familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. The girl looked at me with her big eyes and held my hand. Mom, why didn't you open the door earlier? The girl was obviously not happy. I bent a little on my knees and caressed her head. What happened so early in the morning? I said in a natural way as if it was something I did on a daily basis. It was surprising how familiar I was to these actions. The little girl was not that little. Her petite body was just like mine. She was actually older than 10 but looked like her age was no more than 7. It's Luca again. He broke my backpack. How will I go to school now? The girl cried out in frustration. This was definitely not the first time Luca had done something naughty. Okay, where is your dad? Did you tell him to fix it? I said as I closed our door behind me after exiting the room. We will get you a new one today. It's too late to get one now. The girl became happy. Okay. I want the same one that Rosal has. Her bag has so many stickers on them. I like it. I smile and hum to her request. I went down the stairs and called out, "Rylan." However, instead of my mate, I saw a little boy running towards me. The girl next to me instantly went into a defense mode against the boy. "Mom, you should scold him." The girl pointed at the little boy who crashed into me and hugged my legs. I couldn't help but laugh. "What did you do again, hey?" I picked up the boy in my arms and held him up to see his cute face. The boy smiled innocently and said, "Nothing." The girl immediately became red. "Liar. Wait, let me tell Daddy about this. He will set you straight. That was a new bat that Grandpa had brought for me a month ago and you broke it." I stared at the boy's face and thought, so this is Luca. What a cute little boy. The girl then ran up the stairs shouting for her dad. Feeling a bit restless, I follow up too. The girl went into the room that was Rylan's study. Everything was exactly the same how I remembered it. The house was where we lived, the rooms and decor were the same. Only, there were an additional amount of kids and I seemed to have grown old. The little restlessness didn't leave my body but only grew as I approached the study. There was a sound of the little girl complaining and another deep voice humming along to her complaints, paying attention to every detail of Luca's wrongdoings. "Okay, but he is your brother, isn't he? You should forgive him for these small mistakes. Mom and I will take you out and get you a new bag today, okay? Don't be so angry at him. You know Luca loves you. He only wants to play with his sister." My hand stopped at the knob as I listened to Rylan talking. He was exactly the same as I remember. With a smile on my face, I opened the door. Rylan was sitting on the chair behind his desk, with the little girl on his lap. The girl was clinging onto his neck while puffing up her cheeks. "Won't you say sorry to your sister?" I put Luca down and patted his head. Luca ran along and went to his sister. He poked her back and giggled. The little girl's cheeks deflated and she immediately slid down from Rylan's lap and started to chase Luca out of the room. I watched them as they disappeared with a smile on my face that couldn't get any better. Before I could turn around, a pair of strong arms wrapped around me from the back and a small kiss was placed on the base of my neck. Life couldn't get any happier. This is the life I dreamt of. This is the life I want. Chapter 53. Rylan. Sira has been feeling very tired lately. She had fallen asleep on my lap on the way back in the car, not that I mind. But what got me really worried was that the moment she got out of the car she threw up. I pulled her hair back from her face and rubbed her back soothingly. After throwing up she couldn't even stand properly. I told Nate and Cole to go inside the house and I'll take Sira straight to the pack doctor. I carried her to the pack doctor and placed her on the bed. The doctor came in shortly. "What's wrong with the Luna, Alpha?" she asked while checking her pulse. "I don't know exactly but she has been getting really tired over small things and she threw up when we got out of the car before she passed out." "What could it be, doctor?" I said with worry lacing my words. "Alpha, can you please wait outside while I run some tests on Luna?" she said and I nodded. I placed a tender kiss on Sira's forehead before leaving. I sat on the couch outside the room, my head in my hands thinking about all the possibilities. Was it because of the hot climate? Did she eat something wrong? Maybe side effects of the medicine the doctor gave her? "Alpha, you can go in now," a nurse told me. I didn't waste any time and opened the door. Sira was awake now and was listening intently to what the doctor was saying. "Sira? How are you feeling, baby?" I asked while taking a seat next to her on the bed. I kissed her cheek. "I'm fine, Rylan. More than fine actually," she said with a smile on her face. "I'll leave you guys alone." Doc says and mouths something to Sira before closing the door behind her. What is it? I asked her. I want to know what was the cause of her bad health. How do I tell you, she muttered, avoiding my gaze. What is it, baby? You know you can tell me anything. I said, making her look at me. Okay. But don't freak out, please. Just remember that I want this and I'm very happy. I nodded, even though I am not sure what she is saying. She took my hand in hers and placed it on her flat tummy. I gave her a confused look. Why did she do that? But then I felt it. A faint heartbeat. In her stomach. Does that mean, is it real, Sira? Is this what I think it is? I looked at her wide eye and she responded with a nervous smile. Oh my god, it's real, you are pregnant. I asked for confirmation. She nodded once again and I felt like I just died of happiness. A big grin took over my face and I hugged Sira tightly. Happy tears pricked my eyes and I didn't bother wiping them off. They were happy tears and everyone should know how happy I am. Rylan, say something. Sira said. I pulled away and cupped her small face in my hand. I don't have words to describe how happy you made me today. You are carrying our baby. It feels like a dream. I said, happy tears streaming down my cheeks. Leaning in, I place a small tender kiss on her lips, then on her flat stomach. For my baby. Then the doctor came in. Congratulations, Alpha, Luna is 2 weeks pregnant. Thank you, Doc. I can't explain how happy I am to hear this news. I said. Of course, but you also have to take good care of the Luna. The first 3 months of pregnancy you have to be very careful because there are high chances that the baby can be hurt. And you have to go to the doctor for regular checkups. Your first checkup will be tomorrow. She informed us. Hearing all those things made me feel funny in the stomach. The thought of mini-me or mini-Sira running around the house made me want to cry out in happiness. Sure, doctor. We'll take care. Sira responded. I have prescribed a few medicine for your nausea, but if there is even a slightest bit trouble, don't hesitate to call me. Alpha, you can take Luna home now. I will send her diet plan to you later. She said and went out of the room. I sighed and laid next to Sira. I rubbed her belly lightly. It will be swollen like a ball within a few months. I mentally chuckled at that. I felt Sira's hands stroking my head and I leaned into her touch. Rylan, are you really happy? If you're doing this for me, I cut her off by placing my lips on hers. Absolutely not. I am already in love with our little ball of sunshine. So discard that thought from your mind, baby. I scolded her. Okay. She said and giggled. Soon we left the hospital wing and went back to the house. Nate and Cole along with Cameron and my parents had snapped to us. We sat on the couch in front of them. I wrapped my hand on her stomach protectively. I'm already so possessive of this baby. I hope it's a tiny little baby girl, just like Sira. Rylan, would you tell us what the doctor said? We were worried. Mom asked me. I looked at Sira for confirmation. She had told me to announce it to everyone as soon as we can. She nodded a little and I took a deep breath. Cleared my throat. And you're not giving a speech here? Nate said dryly. Sira is expecting. I said loud and clear, hopefully everyone in the room heard me. A baby. I added as an afterthought. Wolves have weird brains, they can think anything. The shock look on their face confirmed that they did hear me and I leaned on the couch. Oh my god. I'm gonna be a grandma. I'm proud of you, son. I hope it's a girl. I'm gonna go shopping for the baby. Tomorrow. Me too, Cole. Let's go together. You knocked her up. I'm proud of you, man. I hope you understood who said what. Especially the last one. Sierra. What happened, honey? Mom asked suddenly. I turned to see tears streaming down her face. I frowned and wrapped my hands around her. I made her sit on my lap and silently told everyone to leave, which they did. Baby, sweetie, why are you crying? Is something wrong? Are you not feeling good? Tell me. I asked and rubbed her back with one hand while the other wiped her tear-stained cheeks. No sniff, nothing's wrong, sniff, these sniff hormones are sniff messing with me, long sniff, Rylan. She managed to say. I was relieved that she was all right. Don't be sorry, baby, it's not your fault. And I'll be there for you always. I said. I tucked a piece of hair behind her ear and made her look at me. Her nose was running and eyes were red. Baby, don't cry. I don't like when you cry. Smile? For me. Okay, she said and smiled. Which made me smile. We will get through this together, I promised. Rylan. Yes. You said you will help me, right? Yup. Will you do what I say? I could sense the hesitation in her voice. Of course. You name it and it will be done. These hormones are messing with me and making me all horny. Will you help me with it? She didn't have to ask twice. I picked her up and sprinted to our bedroom, ready to make her forget everything. Chapter 54. Serena. In the morning everything went in a blur. Everyone was excited about the wedding in Miami but also fussing over tiny things. Lily informed me earlier that she had a famous designer to make wedding gowns for me and she is confused between two, so after checking the venues I have to go to the boutique with her. Huff. Wedding stuff is so tiring. We arrived at our destination, Miami, by evening the same day and went straight to the mansion that Rylan had booked for us to stay in. We are going to relax now and start working from tomorrow. I huffed and dropped to the floor when I finished unpacking the last shirt from my bag. Rylan said that he would do it and I should only rest after the long plane journey, but the moment he left the room I started to unpack. He went out with Nate and Adam to get some things done. I heard the door opening but I was too tired to bother. Footsteps get closer and Rylan's scent hit me. I closed my eyes and sighed. Baby girl, I told you to rest, not work. Don't overexert yourself. It's not good for you and the baby. He scolded me, picking me up he placed me on the bed. He laid beside me and placed his head on my stomach. I can't believe we postpone the scan. Tomorrow you will be very busy or else I would have taken you for the scan to a nearby hospital. I really want to see the little thing. He whined. Don't worry, Rylan, we can go early in the morning for the scan, and in the afternoon we will see the venues. Then you can see the little thing, okay? I suggested and saw his eyes lit up. Agreed. Now I brought dinner here itself. I know how exhausted you are, eat up all you can and have a good sleep. He said, passing me the tray stacked with food. I'm gonna take a nice long shower and when I come back, I want at least half of the tray empty, got that? I nodded, he pecked my lips before he went to the bathroom. I started eating and by the time Rylan came back I had finished most of the food. I think the baby is very hungry. Rylan found it really amusing and that cost him a smack on the head by yours truly. After having so much food my eyes start to droop, so I laid down on the bed and closed my eyes. I felt the bed dip and Rylan's large, warm arm wrap around my stomach. Good night, Sierra, he whispered in my ear and kissed my forehead. Then he whispered good night, baby, and kissed my stomach. The next morning Rylan and I were all set for the scan. I could sense his excitement and nervous. He had managed to get an appointment from a doctor who was a wolf too here in Miami itself. I buttoned the last button of my light blue shirt and sprayed some perfume. "You done? I don't want to be late, sweetie," Rylan called from the closet. I huffed and stormed towards the closet where he was standing shirtless. I scoffed. "Are you done? I don't want to be late, darling." He turned around and gave me a sheepish smile. His shirt was on him in a flash and muttered a small sorry. Soon we were in his car, driving to the gynecologist. We arrived in 15 minutes and had to wait for another 5 minutes, because she was attending someone else. "MR and MRSON. The nurse called. Rylan and I stood up. "That's us. Can we go in now?" Rylan asked and the nurse nodded. "Hello Alpha Rylan and Luna Serena. You are here for your first scan, am I right?" The doctor greeted. We both nodded. "Okay, so I want you to change in this gown and lay on the small bed there. I'll get the machine ready," she tells me, and I go behind the curtain to change. "Alright, I'm done." I laid down on the bed. Doctor came in with Rylan. He took my hands in his instantly. There was a big cut on the gown on the belly area. She lifted the cloth up, exposing my skin, and brought some gel. "This will feel a little cold," she warned, and applied the gel on my lower stomach. I shivered at the touch but didn't move too much. Rylan's hold on my hand tightened. She brought the small scanner rod and moved it around my skin. "There, MR and MRSON, is your baby." She pointed to a small dot on the screen and I almost burst out crying. I look at Rylan but he is staring at the screen as if it's the most beautiful art in the world, and I just turned back happily. "It is so small it looks like a peanut," Rylan and said at the same time. I turn my head in his direction and glare at him. "Don't you dare call my baby a peanut," I told him, and he shrugged. "Do you want the printouts?" Doctor asked, and we nodded. We thanked the doctor and went back home with happy grins on our faces. We showed the pictures to everyone and they gushed about how happy they are and how the baby will get all the love in the world. "My baby is truly lucky." Kevin showed up after breakfast. He had brought a few ideas with him that suited our plan. But still we decided to see the places ourselves. After 4 hours of continuous search we finally found the place we liked and we finalized it. We booked the venue for the date and went home. Then I remembered that in an hour I have to go with Lily for the dress. Rylan, I have to go with Lily to see the wedding dresses she ordered for me in an hour. I informed him. "Cool. When will you be back?" he asked. He was sitting on the couch with a book in his hand and me besides him with my head on his shoulder. "Don't know. Maybe an hour or even more," I replied. "Baby girl, don't stress yourself too much, it's not good for you. Or her," he said, his book long forgotten and his undivided attention was on me. I resisted the urge to roll my eyes at him. "We don't know if it's a girl or boy yet." "What if it's a boy? Will you love him any less?" I asked him. It was a stupid question, because I know Rylan would love this baby, no matter what. "Hey! Don't say that. I will love my peanut, let it be a baby boy or baby girl, I will love them the same," he said defensively. "I know that, Rylan. I'm just teasing you. And stop calling my baby a peanut." I almost shouted the last part. But it looked like a peanut, he justified. One glare from me shut him up. It's crazy how he is wrapped around my little finger, but I'm enjoying it too much. I just huffed and went for a nice shower for the 3rd time today. Exactly after an hour Lily came to our room and I left with her, not without saying bye to Rylan, of course. "This is gonna be so fun. Lily squealed. At the last moment Cole and Nina joined us too and we set off to choose my dress. At the boutique. I'm confused. I have two dresses in front of me and I love both of them. I don't understand how other brides find the perfect dress. Both the dresses are beautiful and I can't select any one. Mom. Why don't we are the designer to make a dress that is a fusion of their two? Then we don't have to decide and break our heads. Nina squealed. That's a good idea. I will start working on it if you want. The designer said. That's fantastic. Then you start your work and when you finish just give a call, don't send it home. Anyone can see it. Lily said and finally we headed back home. Chapter 55. Rylands. Today's the day. Today my Sierra will officially be mine. After weeks of planning and stressing, it's finally time. I fixed my tie again to make sure I look fine. I was wearing a black tux with a black tie. It usually didn't take long for me to get ready, but today I took a good 65 minutes to look even presentable. I didn't get a wink of sleep last night, cause being that Sierra was held captive by the girls the whole time. Apparently we were not supposed to see each other till the wedding. It has been pure. I even stooped so low as to sneak in her room, but I was kicked out by Nina. Rylan. Are you listening? Adam shouted in my ear, breaking my train of thought. Hey? Yeah, I'm listening. What were you saying? I asked. He sighed and shook his head. Dude, you have been staring at this mirror for the last 15 minutes. Are you narcissistic? He asked. No. I'm just trying not to faint on my wedding day. By giving myself a pep talk in my mind. I replied honestly. Don't worry, brother, it will be fine, and I can tell if not now you will faint at the altar when you see Isa, she is looking like a goddess in the dress. Jared said. Yup. I could pay a fortune to see that. Jacob joined him. Why do I have to get these idiots as brothers? Wait. Have you seen her? Did you speak to her? I asked them and they nodded. Do you have a picture? Hope in my eyes was clearly evident. Nope, sorry, she was still getting ready so we didn't take any pictures. Michael said and I nodded before turning back to the mirror. I don't look half bad. Honey. It's time. My mom shouted from the other side of the door. Our mansion was an hour away from the beach venue. We all settled in the limo. We reached the venue and I thought, this is it, we made it. Me and Sierra have been through everything together and now we finally get our happy ending. I smiled to myself and take my place at the altar. Jared stood behind me as my best man and Jacob, Michael, and Nate as my groomsmen. I'm waiting, baby. Serena. Everyone is rushing here and there, trying to get everything done perfectly while I'm sitting on the chair in front of the mirror doing nothing and feeling completely useless. But I can't do anything, the girls threatened me that if I get up they will cake my face with makeup. So I listened. I am already in my wedding dress and it's truly gorgeous, my hair is in a messy bun with some strands framing my face. The girls are fussing over what kind of makeup should be done. I look at the clock in the room and realized I had only 1 hour more. 1 hour. Girls. 1 hour left. Fast, do something. Anything. I said. They stopped whatever they were doing and focused on me. Within 45 minutes I was all ready to get married to the love of my life. We settled in the limo that Rylan sent earlier. The bridesmaids, Cole, Cameron, and Roselle, one of the pack members I befriended, stood in a line before me. My maid of honor, Nina, stood by me, ready to go. Harold came to me and planted a kiss on my forehead. He had offered to walk me down the aisle because my dad didn't want to. Ready, sweetheart? He asked with a warm smile. I wrapped my arm around his and nodded. As ready as I will ever be, I replied. A girl quickly gave me a bouquet of red roses and then the song started. The girls moved forward swiftly, followed by me. Don't trip! Don't trip! Don't trip! I kept whispering to myself. Harold chuckled silently and held my arm tightly. Don't worry, I won't let my daughter fall on such a special day, he whispered. I nodded and walked more confidently. With every step my heart raced faster than before. Finally my eyes landed on my beautiful mate, Rylan. He looked ravishing in his black tux. A small red rose was tucked in his suit pocket, his hair was a little mess, giving him a look. He looked happy. And that's all I want. We reached the altar and Harold handed me over to Rylan, who took my hand eagerly. Take care of her, or I will haunt you for your entire life. And I'm not joking, son. Harold said, and that's when realized how much I missed having a father in my life. But not anymore. Don't worry, Dad. I'll keep her like queen. Rylan promised. Looking closely I saw water in her eyes. I blinked back my own tears. Harold kissed my cheek and went to sit down next to Lily. I stood in front of Rylan as the priest started his ceremony. I didn't pay attention to anything and just kept staring at my mate. After a lot talking from the priest, please don't be offended, I don't know anything about Catholic weddings. It was time for the rings. The ring bearers, a cute girl and a boy, came in with our rings. We both took our rings in our hands and repeated after the priest. I, Rylan Owen, take you, Serena Clark, for my lawful wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, until death do us part. Rylan said and slipped the ring on my finger. I, Serena Clark, take you, Rylan Owen, for my lawful husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, until death do us apart. I repeat and slip the ring on his finger. Now you may kiss the bride. The priest said, and Rylan didn't waste any more time and claimed my lips. The clapping and hooting us to move away. Both of us were breathing heavily. He held my hand and walked me down the stage. We were blessed by everyone on the way. During the reception many people greeted us and gave us gifts. Everything was going perfect until they showed up. My guests. Mason, Morgana, I'm glad you guys could make it, I said. Everyone was quiet as I spoke to them. I stood up, Rylan stood up with me and wrapped his hand around my stomach protectively. What are they doing here? He muttered. I invited them. He gave me a look that clearly stated, are you out of your mind? Rylan, I don't want to hold any grudges in the future. I want our future to be free of any negative emotions. I felt the need to do this, baby. Please, I said. His eyes softened and he gave a small nod. I smiled and pecked his lips, making him smile. I turned back to my guests with a smile. Thanks again for coming. Enjoy yourself, I said, and sat on the seat that was for me and Rylan. Congratulations, Serena. I'm happy for you, Mason said with a sad smile. Your happiness doesn't matter, Rylan muttered, but I heard. Both of them gave us our gifts and left. I guess they were not comfortable. And just like that we had our first dance. The reception was over around 11 p.m. in the night and I was more than just exhausted. Rylan helped me get in the car because my dress was too big. I laid my head on Rylan's lap and fell asleep. I am so tired. Baby, wake up, we have to go now. He cooed in my ear and placed kisses over my face. I opened my eyes and sat back up. We were at the airport. Where are we going? I asked for our honeymoon, baby. Now we have to get going. Come on. We were on a private jet again, but it was a different one and was decorated with flowers on the inside. Where are we going for our honeymoon, Rylan? I asked, excited. He just chuckled and kissed me, making me forget everything. Soon we found ourselves in the small bedroom, tangled in sheets. My wedding dress discarded in a corner along with his clothes. Epilogue. 3 years later. Rylan's daddy. My little princess voice called from other side of the door. You know I was right, little Peanut turned out to be a girl. During Sierra's labor I was truly scared, but the moment the nurse handed the tiny baby in my hand I felt like I achieved everything and at peace. Dad, Rosalind squealed and jumped on my lap. She wrapped her tiny hands around me and hugged me. For a 3-year-old she is strong, I thought, and hugged her back. I pulled away and kissed her cheeks repeatedly, making her giggle. Rose. How many times I have to tell you not to run? You could have got hurt, baby. Sierra said while entering my office. I placed Rose on my chair and walked towards my wife. Wrapping my arms around her swollen stomach I quickly stole a kiss. How are you, baby? Is my little champ being a good boy in there? I asked. Yes, I'm good and Luca is being very good boy. But your daughter is behaving like a bad girl. She dropped a bottle of Nutella on Nate today while he was sleeping. She exclaimed. Oh, I'm sure he was happy about it, after all he loves Nutella. I reasoned. Who can be mad at my princess' cute little face? You always side with her. Let's have lunch, I'm starving. She said and dragged me to the big couch in the corner. She picked up Rose and made her sit between us. Having my family by my side was satisfying. After baby Rosalind's birth Sierra became very weak, but with everyone's support we made it through. Rosalind is everyone's little ball of sunshine. She has this special charm around her that makes everyone happy. No one has the power to say no to her or not like her. She is treated like a princess. At such a small age she knows her values and is respectful. And then my boy who is still to come in this world. We could not keep our excitement when we found out it was a boy. We already named him Luca. He is our little champ. This is my beautiful family. Me, my lovely wife, my daughter, and my boy. Picture perfect. Rosalind. Don't throw your food on Daddy. Sierra said. And a piece of chicken hit my face. Bonus Chapter 1. Rylan's daddy. Mommy. Wake up, it's Christmas. My 4-year-old screamed from the other side of the room. I covered my ear with a pillow and snuggled more into my wife's body. We celebrated Christmas Eve in our own way yesterday and now all I want to do is sleep. I felt Sierra moving out of bed but I held her tightly. Baby, don't leave me, I whined, but of course she didn't listen. She pecked my L.P.S. and forehead once before getting off the bed. I closed my eyes again and tried to sleep. Mommy. Daddy. I want to open my presents. Rosalind screamed again. I heard the door open and small footsteps running inside. Soon I was tackled by a tiny body of my daughter. Daddy. I woke up startled and faced my daughter. She had a face-splitting grin on her face which made me smile too. What Peanut? I asked her. Yes, I stuck to the name, she doesn't complain, so why not? Daddy, I want to open my presents, but Mommy said we can't open them without you. She said with an adorable pout. Oh really? Let's go then. I said and lifted her up. I'm glad I wore some shorts after our activities last night. Daddy, Uncle Nate said he got me a big present. She said and opened her arms wide to show how big. Remember to say thank you, sweetheart. I said. I placed her on the kitchen island and went to Sira, who was cooking something. Yes, Daddy. She said and diverted her attention to her toys. I snaked my arms around Sira's small waist from behind and kissed her neck. Good morning. Sira said, turned the burner off and faced me. You left me. I pouted and she kissed my pout away. I held her and deepened the kiss. Better. She asked. That was okay, but I am up for more tonight. You know, today being Christmas and all. I offered. Of course, whatever you say. Her fingers brushed my exposed chest, making me groan in pleasure. The doorbell rang, breaking our little moment. Cyril let go of me and went to open the door. I went to the fridge and gulped some milk from the carton. Uncle Nate. On to Cole. Rose yelled. I swear she will burst my eardrums one day. How can she possibly scream so much? I went to our bedroom back to put a shirt on before greeting them. Sira had this great idea of having a get-together for Christmas. Nate and Cole moved out of the pack house last year, and so did Cameron, who found her mate around 2 years back. The gathering is in the evening, but knowing them, I expected them to show up in the morning. Hey Nate, Merry Christmas! I said and hugged him. I missed him. Merry Christmas, Alpha. That alpha word earned him an elbow in the ribs. I side-hugged Cole and said a small Merry Christmas. Let's go open my presents. Rose yelled for the 1000th time today. Okay Thunderball, let's go. I said and picked her up, heading towards the living room where the Christmas tree was set up. Rose wiggled out of my hold and started sorting out the presents. She had a total 9 gifts and she was over the moon. My sweet pea, she's so innocent. She ripped open Nate's gift and gasped when she saw a doll which was as big as her. Nate, where did you even get that? I whispered, not telling. He replied and I dropped the matter. She also received a cute pair of shoes from Cole, a dress from Cameron, a tea set from Bucky, Cameron's mate. Her grandparents, aka my parents, gave her a dollhouse which she wanted for a long time. Then came our turn. She opened my gift first. She opened the small gift and squealed, running into my arms. What is it, pumpkin? Nate asked. Daddy brought me tickets to Disneyland. She squealed and kissed my cheek. Thank you, Daddy. Anything for you, Peanut. Now go open Mommy's present. She ran back and opened the wrap. She took out a t-shirt that said World's Best Daughter and ran to her mom. I love you, Mommy. She said, I love you too, darling. Sira said back. The day went by peacefully. Others showed up and we had a nice time catching up with them. Yes, we meet regularly, but it's not the same when we all lived together in the pack house. So it was fun. The day came to an end and everyone bid their goodbyes. Bye buddy, see you tomorrow. I said to Nate and he nodded. I closed the door and went to check up on Rose, who had fallen asleep an hour ago. Once I saw her sleeping in her room, I went to search for my wife. I went to our room and saw her placing clothes in the closet. I sneaked up on her and wrapped my arms around her waist. Where is my gift, baby? Did you forget? I whispered. She turned around and laced her fingers around my shoulders. How can I forget your gift? Go lay down on the bed, I'll get it. That got me very excited and I quickly laid down waiting for her gift. Even I brought a gift for her, but I will give it when I receive mine. Sira came back with a small box. Here she placed the box in my hand and looked at me expectantly. Okay. I opened the wrapper and saw a small white box. I opened it. It's a small plastic stick. With 3 red lines on it. A pregnancy test. Sira. I said, not looking away from the stick. Finally I looked at her and saw her nod. I'm 5 weeks pregnant. Sira. I lunged myself at her and she giggled. Oh Sira, you gave me the best Christmas gift ever. I love you baby. I said. I love you too. Now where is my gift? She asked. Her held her hand out and I removed the box from under the pillow. She opened it and smiled. It was a locket with our family picture in it. It had also our names at the back. Sira hugged me, then took off the diamond necklace she was wearing and replaced it with the locket. When the baby comes we will change the picture in your locket and engrave his/her name too. I said and she nodded. We held each other all night and spoke about the new addition in our family till we both finally fell asleep. Bonus Chapter 2. Serena. I was tired from all the running. Running from them. I don't know who they are, lurking in the shadows and giving me creeps. I can't run anymore, I'm panting and sweating heavily. But I have to run. I know I'm close to Rylan. I can't remember how I got into this situation. One moment I was putting my shopping bags in the car and the next moment some guys were running behind, chasing me like a prey. I ignored the pain in my body and ran like I'm on fire. I saw the house, my home. It boosted my energy and I ran. I opened the door and looked behind me, the men were gone. I sighed in relief and fell on my knees, catching my breath. When my breathing became normal I went around looking for my mate. The house is so empty, it's never like this. I searched the kitchen, the living room, the pool, library. He is usually at these places when I'm not home. He was nowhere. Then I went to our bedroom. I opened the door and I wished I never did. Hot tears fell from my eyes on the floor. For the first time Rylan was not there to wipe them, he was there, lying on the floor looking lifeless. I ran to him and fell on my knees. I tried to shake him, talk to him, but he did not wake up. My heart broke. My reason to live was suddenly snatched away from me. I felt someone grab my arm and drag me away from my Rylan. I turned around to face the masked guy, the very one who has been chasing me around the city. I screamed and moved away. I looked at Rylan for help, but his lifeless eyes just stared into nothingness. I shook my head as more tears fell. Rylan! Help me! Rylan! I shouted in hope that he will get up and help me. I screamed and trashed in the hands of my captor. How can I be so unlucky? He dragged me away till I couldn't see my mate anymore. I stopped. I stopped trying. I gave up. Sira! Sira, wake up! Please! Baby, open your eyes. Look at me. No baby. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. I opened my eyes and took a long breath. I looked around and noticed I'm in my room, on the bed. Baby! I heard Rylan say before he pulled me in a bone-crushing hug. I instantly wrapped my arms around him tightly. It was a dream, no a nightmare. I pulled away and searched him for any injuries. I held his face and kissed every inch of it. Then finally I broke down sobbing. He placed me on his lap and stroked my hair as I let the tears fall. After some time my sobs reduced to small hiccups. That's when Rylan pulled away slightly. What happened, baby? He asked softly. I had a horrible nightmare. I replied. SHH, you wanna talk about it? It was about you, Rylan. Why you died? Then they took me away from you. I was so scared. He hugged me tightly and rocked back and forth to calm me. SHH, baby, I'm here. Nothing will happen to me or you. You don't have to worry about such things, Ever. He reassured. I nodded and closed my eyes. Somehow his words seemed to calm my nerves. His words seemed so true. Soon my eyes became droopy. Rylan laid us on the bed and stroked my hair. I cuddled him more and placed my head on his chest. This will never get old. Bonus Chapter 3. Rylan's being an alpha of a pack is relatively easy being a father of a hyperactive 3-year-old girl. You may think that I would possess any control over my child, but in reality it was the complete opposite. Like right now I was being to go to one of Rosalind's friends' birthday party. They had invited the parents for the party too, which I find stupid. Why would they invite adults at these kind of celebrations? I had opted to go casual. I was dressed in a half-sleeve black fitted t-shirt, black jeans and my brown jacket, that Sierra gifted me for our anniversary last month. I gave myself one last look in the mirror and went in the closet for my wallet and watch, but I got gifted by a very exciting scene. Sierra stood in front of the rack full of dresses only in her towel. I felt myself getting hard down there and I wished nothing more than to spend the night with Sierra, alone. The party. I wrapped my arms around her slim waist, she let out a small squeal and turned around. Rylan! Get out! She ordered, giving me one of her looks. Most of the times it worked but not now. Now I was in some fun mood. Let's ditch the party, baby. I whispered in her left ear and nibbled on it. I could feel her fast heartbeat against my chest and her fast breathing on my shoulder. No, we can't do that. She stuttered. I smirked and left small feather kisses on her bare shoulder. I have been deprived of her for a few days now, just because Cameron and Bucky had been visiting. But now I want her. But baby, I didn't complain for the past 5 days, don't you think I should be getting some, for being a good boy? I whispered seductively. I shifted and placed my lips on her taste never gets old. She responded to the kiss with the same passion. I sat on the chair in the corner, not once breaking the kiss, and pulled her between my legs. My one hand cupped her face and the other on her back. My hand found the edge of the towel and undid the knot, letting the towel fall on the floor. Sierra was not at all bothered that she was in front of me. She was used to it. I moved my lips from hers and kissed down her throat and chest. Heaven! Soon my clothes were on the floor as we melted into each other, completely forgetting about the party until a small knock and very loud noise was heard. We scrambled from the floor of the closet and put on our clothes. I patted my clothes and hair and opened the door to our room. Rosalind stood there in her princess outfit looking all angry. I came to tell you that the party got cancelled. She huffed and then pouted. Ah, my poor angel. What? Why? I asked with a sad face, but in the inside I was jumping with joy. Selena's mom went into labor in the morning, so they cancelled the party. Selena was her friend whose party we were going to. Oh, they called now? An hour before the party? How irresponsible! I said, but Rose shook her head frantically. No. They called in the morning, but the maid that took the call went somewhere out and returned just now. She said she forgot to tell. She explained. Okay princess, now how about you get out of this dress and into some soft pajamas? Tell Jazzy to give you dinner, then go to bed. Mommy and Daddy are a little buzzy, I said, and she nodded. I kissed her head. We'll see you later, Peanut. Good night and sweet dreams. Good night, Daddy. Tell good night to Mommy too. She ran off to find Jazzy and I closed the door. I carried Sierra out of the closet and threw her on the bed. I climbed on top of her and smirked. Now where were we? Bonus Chapter 4. Serena. I woke up at 1 in the morning due to my weird craving for peanut butter in the middle of the night. I freed myself from Ryland's deathly hands and padded downstairs to the kitchen. I can't skip anymore because of my huge tummy, heck I can't even look at my own toes. There was a time when Ryland had to paint my toenails for me, I feel so useless. I reach the kitchen and open the gates to heaven, aka the refrigerator. Ryland, being the best maid in the whole wide world that he is, has already stacked the kitchen with the things I would possibly like to eat during my condition. Ah, my maid is such a sweetheart. I grab hold of a new jar of peanut butter and a spoon and sit on the floor besides the fridge, with lot of difficulty. Compared to other pregnant ladies, my tummy is rather small, but I'm tiny myself, what do you expect? I still look like a freaking whale though. I start to feel sleepy by the time I finish half of the jar and curl up on the floor itself. I am not climbing the stairs. It's not cold since it's middle of summer, so sleeping here won't be a problem. I felt warm hands wrap around me. I open one eye and see that the person holding me was a very worried-looking Rylan. I was fully awake now and he had my undivided attention. Rylan? What happened? I asked, but he just gave me the "you're in trouble" look and I shut up. He carried me upstairs and laid me down on the bed, covering me up to the chin with the duvet. He sat next to me and just stared. Will you tell me what happened? I asked again, and this time he sighed. Why were you sleeping on the floor in the kitchen? He asked in return. I wanted to eat peanut butter, so I went to the kitchen, but I fell asleep there. Too lazy to climb the stairs. I reasoned. You should have told me, baby, I would have brought the jar here for you. You should be careful, what if something happened to you, or our baby? He said. I opened my arms and he hugged me without hesitation. His hands wrapped around my waist and head on my chest. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to trouble you more than I already do. I have become so useless, I need help in everything I do. You are always so stressed because of me. I pouted. Ah, don't say that, baby. You are not useless, it's just the pregnancy and everyone goes through these times. We will get through it too. Now it's already late and you should be sleeping, not talking. He said. He always makes me feel better. My sweetheart husband. He got off of me, he laid down on the bed and cuddled me close. His hands around my huge tummy and head next to mine. About 15 minutes later I was already sleeping like a log, Rylan told me. Clarification. For all those who think that Rylan didn't do anything to the Howlers pack for how they treated Serena, I would like to clarify that in fact he did. I could not write it accordingly in the chapters, but it is understandable. He mostly told Nate to take care of all the stuff. He also threatened Mason to strip him off his title. As for Benson, his cousin, he never told Rylan that it was the Howlers pack that killed his relatives. Not till the end at least. So please try to understand, and also I don't like writing all the torturous stuff, I feel like barfing, so please just imagine that Rylan had done a lot of damage. Please. Bonus Chapter 5. The End. Serena, a loud cry woke me up from my deep slumber. I groaned and turned over but opened my eyes nonetheless. I looked besides me, Rylan was sleeping soundly and I didn't want to wake him up, so I got out of our bed and slipped on his t-shirt that was lying on the floor. Entering my baby Luca's nursery, I saw him trashing in his crib and crying his eyes out. Ah, my poor baby. I picked him up and rocked him a little to calm him down. I changed his diaper and fed him. When he was satisfied and stopped crying, I paced in the room to make him fall back asleep. I laid him on the crib and kissed his forehead once before leaving the room. I wasn't feeling sleepy anymore, so I decided to make breakfast for everyone, considering it's already 6 a.m. Luca was born on 21st of September. He is a chubby little boy who turned 6 months last week. Giving birth to him was painful, more than Rose, but it all was worth it when I cradled him in my arms. He has his daddy's dark eyes and my brown hair. I still remember the day I went in labor. I still remember the day as if it was yesterday. Flashback: the mornings were not my favorite part of the day anymore. I had come to like mornings since Rylan came into my life because I got to see his beautiful face. But now even his beautiful face didn't help. Being pregnant was not a piece of cake. I can't roll in my sleep. Cuddling with Rylan is definitely not an option. I can't even reach him because of my football-sized tummy. You will think I had experience with this because of my Rose, but no, it was totally different. I rolled over to my side and didn't see Rylan there. I got up and covered my heavily pregnant body with some clothes. I usually sleep in some sweats because I get hot easily, much to Rylan's dismay. He can't touch me. I penguin walked, quite literally, to the bathroom to brush my teeth. I saw a pink sticky note on the mirror and read it. It was from Rylan. Baby, we ran out of bread and milk, so I'm going to the supermarket to get some. I'm taking Rose with me and be back soon. Love you. Your love, Rylan. I checked the time and saw that it was only 10:12 a.m. I decided to shower before they come back and went in the bathroom. After the shower, I placed my heavy self on the sofa and watched the TV. The front door opened and Rose ran inside with the excited Rylan behind. Mommy, Mommy! See what Daddy got me! Rose jumped up and down like a rabbit in front of me with a small box in her hand. I opened the box and saw a bead bracelet with letters on them. It spelled out "World's Best Sister." It was truly adorable. I tied around her hand and kissed her forehead. She ran to the kitchen to fill her tummy and Rylan sat beside me. How are you feeling? Is my son giving you trouble? He asked, kissing me first and then my swollen bump. I shook my head and rested my sore feet on his lap. He lightly massaged them and hummed a random tune. He does that a lot now. I fell asleep on the sofa and woke up when I felt my stomach exploding from pain. I let out a scream and tried to stand up. The sofa was soaked, but I didn't care at the moment. A loud banging noise came from the which only made me more breathless. Rylan came rushing out of the kitchen. His flour-covered cheeks made me almost burst in laughter. He was still wearing an apron. He came rushing towards me and held me in his arms. Baby! What happened? My water be broke? I said in between deep breaths. What? But you're not due for another week. I don't care. Take me to the hospital. I want your son out of me. Now! I yelled as the contractions hit me. He immediately let me go and ran around the house looking for the overnight bag. He picked me up and sat me on the back seat of his SUV. While driving, he took his apron off and called the doctor to keep everything ready for our arrival. We reached there in 10 minutes with Rylan's not so safe driving. I was immediately taken to the emergency room. By the time everything was arranged, I was ready to push. Rylan was by my side, holding my hand and whispering sweet nothings in my ear, wiping my face from time to time while I screamed at him for doing this to me. This was the second time I swore at him, first being Rose's delivery. His face was priceless. After 9 hours of pain, our son finally made it. He was quite chubby for a newborn, that's why pushing him was so difficult. But it felt good to finally hold him. The doctor and nurses let us with our new baby. Rylan sat beside me on the bed and stroked our baby's head lightly. Rylan, do you have any name for our baby boy? I asked. I thought of one. I really like it. Tell me, I said. Luca? How does that sound? He said, still smiling at our son. Perfect. I looked at my son and smiled. "Hi baby Luca," I cooed. Later the room was filled with all the visitors. Lily, Harold, Nate, Cole, Cameron, Bucky, Adam, Nina, and lastly our precious Rose. Everyone visited and congratulated us. Flashback over a crashing sound came from upstairs, followed by thundering footsteps. In a flash a shirtless Rylan stood in front of me. "Good morning, sweetheart," I said cheerfully as if he was not glaring at me. "Good morning to you too, baby, but care to explain why you let the bed? You know I want to see you face first thing in the morning," he said and sighed. I love how he always wishes me, even though he is not in a good mood. I wrapped my hands around his neck and pulled myself up to kiss him. He lifted me by my legs and kissed me. I hopped back down but kept my hands around his neck. "I'm sorry, but Luca's cries woke me up and then I thought I would make breakfast. It won't happen again. Promise," I said. "I forgive you this time, MRSON, but not again. I don't like not waking up next to you." The bed felt cold. He said and kissed me again. "When is Rose coming back? I miss her." I whined and detached myself from my mate. He sat on the bar stool and sighed. "Nate said he will drop her off in the evening today. I miss her too, but I got to spend alone time with you," he said. He walked around the table and came behind me where I was fixing our plates. His lips assaulted the skin around my neck and it was very difficult to keep myself from moaning in pleasure. He turned me around and kissed me hard on the lips. "Sometimes I feel as if this wolf will never be satisfied. We just made love last night and he is here for more. But I'm not complaining. We were both at a point where we couldn't hold ourselves back." My hands went to the waistband of his pajamas and pulled them down as his hands slipped under my shorts. Luca's cries made us jump apart. Still in daze, I fixed myself up and gave Rylan one last peck before hurrying towards Luca's room. But I didn't miss Rylan say sometimes it feels like we have another Nate in our life. Ugh. Cold shower, here I come. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description.